Hello ladies and gentlemen, it's Gibbs F1 here, and welcome back to Formula Xbox Season 9 highlights. This time we're at the Circuit of the Americas in Austin, in Texas, in the US of A for the US Grand Prix, and we're launching it into turn 19. We're invalidating our lap time and we are returning to the pits with our head held in shame after that poor corner cut there. As you can see, we had already got a time in by this point, 3 minutes 22 left of the session, so you would hope so. We should be wondering what we were doing for the 12 minutes. 1:34.6 at the moment, good enough for P9. I imagine people are going to improve in that time though, and you may be wondering why I'm only entering the pits for the first time in this session with only 3 minutes to go. And the reason being is because it's going to be a wet start to the race, so we're not even going to have to start on these tyres if we finish in the top 10. So as we now launch it on our final lap into turn 19, much better run through there this time. We've gained, well, a tenth. It's something, it's better than nothing, but it's hardly anything to write home about. And we cross the line, we stay in the P11, which we were dropped to. So that's a P11 starting position for us. Usually would be a bit of a box seat, because that would be the first position you could start in, the furthest forward on the grid you could start on any which tyre you choose. But obviously with everyone being on either intermediate or wets for this one, that advantage is null and void. As you can see, we're actually on the intermediate compound tyres to start this one. So it's a mizzle at the moment. As you can see, that mizzle turns into a drizzle, which turns into well, not sunshine, but sunshine and showers, which is the cop-out answer of any weatherman. And as you can see, park firm conditions. Don't know why I'm trying to change my setup, but I can, of course, change the strategy. We're going to take a little bit of fuel out there. Given these wet conditions, you really don't want to be using rich revs. We have 5 red lights ahead of us, and it's lights out, and away we go from P11. And Ants Man has got a really slow start ahead of us, and he's probably the only one, because everyone on the inside is steaming past us. We're down to P13, P14, P15, 16 now as we head through the exit of turn 1. We've been hung out to dry there, headed towards the car park by Drastic Devil. Who would have thought it? And so Drastic Inferno drops back behind us there. Drastic Devil is the man ahead of us. We've dropped all the way down in that shuffle to P16. And I think there's a McLaren on our left there that's just cut that corner. As you can see, it's all getting very claustrophobic up ahead. Drastic Devil's got a bit of a swapper on. Ants-Man's, the other Haas, has got a bit of a swapper on as well. And it's just the Toro Rosso is out wide. I'm a bit sheepish to put my nose in there because of how hectic it's getting. We're going to take 2 cars here on the exit of turn 8. And that has been successfully managed. And so we're still behind Drastic Devil, which is never a place you want to be. Well, I suppose it's better than being in front of him. So we'll take it for now. So it's P14. We made up a couple of places. Drastic Devil got a poor run out of there. We're now side by side as we head down the long back straight towards turn 12. And here comes Samham in the Toro Rosso. He's hit the boost button, and he is absolutely going to take both of us there. Or Drastic Devil's put me in a bit of an awkward scenario with a sandwich. He's gone deep. Samham's gone deep. I'm trying to get the cut back, but that's not going to work round there. Drastic Devil is out of the equation. He's now dropped and filed in behind us. So we're still P14 after that shuffle. Samham's gone defensive there into the final corner of the stadium section, turn 16, and on the exit now we again file back in behind him, so nothing doing there, although he has gone a little bit wide through there. And we're going to try and... no, we couldn't get to the inside for 19. That would be a bold, brave move, and I clearly am not brave enough for that one. As we see the guys behind dropping back a little bit now. Drastic Devil has slipped behind Elusive Kev, so he is now the man right behind us, and I'm wary of Kev's pace in the wet because he is a bit of a speed demon with the wet or intermediate tyres. So I'm sure he'll be closing us down in no time at all, so we really need to get a bit of a move on. Samham's got a little bit crossed up on the exit there, and so we gobble up P13, and so that is another place gained. So we're nearly back to where we started after that abysmal start, or I refrain from that as I go massively wide and massively deep into turn 11, and that is going to give Samham an invitation to rejoin the party. And so he is now pulled out of my slipstream already and is cruising on by. I think I've got maybe a little too much downforce on my setup. It's helping me in the corners, that's for sure, but down the straight I am a sitting duck. And so as we come into the stadium section for the second time in this race, nothing much happened, as you can see, because we've cut away, but we're getting it massively with drift style through turns 17 and 18 there. That was pretty bold stuff, and obviously completely well, an utterly dreadful performance, and I lost a lot of time in there, but at least I gained a place eventually on Sam Ham. So we got that move done, and Kev got that move done as well, so he's following us through. He's stalking it in this race, is elusive Kev. Perez is checking out the runoff area there, and so that has put us right on the back of the Force India, so close to the back I nearly hit him, in fact. So we're going to try and shape for a move now into turn 16. We're later on the brakes, we've got it to the inside, and we've covered him off on the exit there. So that is now P12. We're one place away, ladies and gentlemen, from where we started. So it's only taken us to the end of lap 3, which is alarming and surprising in equal measure. And so heading into the complex now, turn 3, 4, 5 and 6. They come at you thick and fast at this point on the track, and we're closing in SRL Ninjas at quite a pace as we hop over the curb there, a little bit cheeky, but we've gained maybe a fraction out of that. Elusive Kev again, he's still hanging on to us. Oh, we've dropped it there coming out of turn 17 and 18. That was not in the script at all. We managed to get away without any damage, so we're fortunate there, and we've not really lost that much time considering how big a moment it was. In fact, the wall was probably kept us in bounds in the end, and it's not often you say that. You're not often thanking a wall that you've just slapped for being there. So that saved our bacon on that one, and we're setting a purple sector in sector 1 again for I believe the second lap in succession, which is slightly bizarre. That could well be a glitch, to be fair, because I'm definitely not that fast. And speaking of not being that fast, that was a car off. I missed who it was. We've lost one car from this race at least, so we're back in P11. So we're back to where we started, although we're trying to throw it away as we have another massive oversteer moment, this time coming out of turn 2, and I'm still trying to scoop it up as we head through the S's. And that's put Elusive Kev a little bit closer to us again. We had kind of dropped him a little bit at least, and here we go, Ken Block style again through turns 15, 16, 17 and 18. That was not the best way of getting through there, that's for sure. As we now head through turn 19, and you can see the tyres are definitely a little bit second hand at this point as we box, and we're going to head onto a set of the slick compound tyres. It is that time. Well, it's probably a lap too soon, but we're going to have to pit anyway, so why not throw on a set of the soft compound tyres. So the Mercedes mechanics go to work. No front wing required, which is quite a miracle given that we slapped the wall pretty hard at turn on the entry to turn 19. So now heading up the hill into turn 1 after exiting the pits. You can see Elusive Kev was still behind us. He was actually passed later on by SRL Ninjas, and SRL Ninjas really did have some pace on the slick tyres. He seemed to enjoy the wet even less than I did, and so we've covered off the inside into turn 1. He's taken the outside line and he's hanging out there pretty nicely indeed. He's now going to have the inside for 2. We're going to be on the outside line now, and we're going to try and stick it out. We have the high ground heading into turn 3, so that should be job done, but no, he's still side by side with us. A little bit of wheel to wheel contact, and he is headed off into the car park. We leave him room to come back on, but I think he picked up a bit of front wing damage in that little bit of a tete-a-tete there, and he has dropped out of the equation there. So Elusive Kev is now the man behind us again, as we're not troubling that apex at turn 11 at all. And that is, oh, in fact, I was going to say that's brought Kev a little bit closer to us, which it has done, of course, but it's now Maestro who is the man trying to catch us. I mentioned a lot the people who are closing me down in this race, and that was because for the second half of it I was catching nobody, which was even more of a shame considering I got a 3-second time penalty there for a corner cut, and that was a bit of a blatant corner cut. I can't really deny that, and so the game is spot on to slap me with the rule book there. Here comes Maestro. I am not about to defend hard for Maestro because he's on ultra soft tyres. He's got an insane amount of pace, and so he is absolutely coming through no matter what. I'm never going to hold him off for 6 laps. So congrats on at least P9, Maestro, and I shall see you at the checkered flag. So now we head through the S's. We're actually holding on to him a little better than I thought we would there on our soft tyres. We've been quite good through the S's all day long. I think it's probably a trait of the fact that I was running more downforce than a lot of the others, I think, given how bad my straight line speed was. But it certainly did at least help me through Sector 1 and Sector 3. Well, less so Sector 3. I was drifting through there more times than you could say, well, drift. As we passed Prototype Budgie there, I got excited because I thought it was a competitor ahead on the road, and it was ahead on the road, but of course Prototype Budgie unfortunately 1 lap down. So no places gained there. We're still sitting in P10, and as you can see, Elusive Kev is now closing us down very, very rapidly indeed. He's got some great pace on these soft tyres, and given that I wasn't hugging the apex at turn 11 again, that is going to give Kev a little bit more incentive to try and close me down in these closing stages. So it's now just a case of survival, hanging on to this P10 as we go deep again at turn 1. Kev seemed to follow us into that one though, so I think we got away with it. But obviously this penalty as well could sting us in the end. We're going to have to hope that Kev has got some penalties also, else we are going to be in big, big trouble as we now head across the line. We can actually see now though on the Delta, Kev hasn't appeared yet. He's now 4.1 seconds adrift, so problems there on lap 25 for Elusive Kev. He's dropped off of us, and that of course outside, he's now outside of our 3-second window, which would mean that we'd actually, well, just as I say, we'd actually finish ahead of him. We pick up another 3-second time penalty with 2 track limits warnings in the space of 1 corner entry and corner exit. And now, just to add insult to injury, on top of our 6-second time penalty, for the second time in 3 races, folks, we have run out of fuel before the checkered flag. So we cross the line. Kev absolutely pinches P10 there at the death. We dropped to P11. We did just about stay ahead of him on the road, but of course, with those penalties, that did demote us. We are very, very fortunate indeed that points go down all the way down to 13th this season. And that is, for a second time, bought us a get-out-of-jail-free card for picking up points in a race. So as you can see, the gentlemen celebrating on the podium, a Renault, a Ferrari, a Williams, 3 drivers who look alarmingly alike there, but certainly enjoying the spoils of victory. And so it's, as I mentioned, P11 for us. It's Langman who has won the race, Mel in second, and Lance Stroll, didn't know he was racing, but a solid effort from him in P3. Kung Fu Kenny Jack picks up 4th place, and the rest of them you can see on your screen there. We're down in P11 in a McLaren sandwich between Elusive Kev and Drastic Inferno. So not a good day for us. Second race in a row that we've had a bit of a poor one. Last week it was an absolutely botched strategy. This week it's just lack of pace really around Circuit of the Americas, and being stung by, well, a few off-track excursions in there as well. But for now, at least, that is